What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. The final regular New Year's Six bowl game that we will be previewing and predicting is coming from Glendale, Arizona. It's the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. We have the Group of Five champion in the Liberty Flames versus a team that just fell short in their conference championship game and thusly just fell short of making the college football playoff, and that was the Oregon Ducks. A lot of offensive firepower going to be coming here for you in this game. We'll talk about everything between the Flames and Ducks on New Year's Day here in just a minute. But before we do that, you guys know I have to say thank you for all the love and support the channel has seen as of late. It's been crazy to me. And if you would continue to support the channel, do so by interacting with the channel in any way you can, whether that's doing what you're doing now and watching the video, liking, commenting, sharing, or doing the big thing, subscribing and ringing the bell. You guys help support what I do here on YouTube, and it does mean a lot to me. And also, I'm testing out some new equipment, new camera. It's the Logitech C920. I don't know if I've said that. New light, new green screen. So if anything feels funky, let me know in the comment section down below. Still trying to play around with settings and things like that. But let's dive on into this game here, shall we? The Liberty Flames and Oregon Ducks sometimes can be a little tricky to determine, okay, who's opting out, who's playing, things like that. So Flames fans, Ducks fans, let me know in the comment section down below if I happen to miss anything, I overlook something in terms of who may be playing or not, or any other thoughts that you have about this game in the comment section down below. But let's go ahead and dive on into both of these teams' stats that they have put up so far this season, and let us start with the Liberty Flames. Woo! If you think I am making up this stat, you better go fact check it, because 302.9 rush yards per game. That is a real stat, and it is what Liberty runs this year. They almost have 4,000 rushing yards as a team this year. They have 39 rushing touchdowns, and they have two guys that are 1,000-yard rushers this year. The first is the true running back, Quentin Cooley, in 213 carries, has 1,322 yards and 16 touchdowns. That's an average of 6.2 yards per carry. And then the quarterback, Kaidon Salter, 1,064 yards on 153 carries. That's 7 yards per carry and 12 rushing touchdowns for him. They got a ton of guys back there that can help rush it as well. Billy Lucas, Aaron Bedgood, James Joyner, all of those guys have at least 40 carries so far this year. And Kaidon Salter, well, if you think all he does is run, think again. He can really sling it here as well. 2,750 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions for Kaidon Salter so far this season. And then when you take a look at the wide receiver room, CJ Daniels leads the way. 988 yards. Be shocking to me if he doesn't get to 1,000 by the time this game is over. 10 touchdowns on the season, averaging 21 yards per catch, and that's not it. Trayon Sibley's averaging 20.9 yards per catch. Noah Frith, 19 yards per catch. Elijah Smoot, 20.1 yards per catch. This is a big play, dynamic Liberty offense that can beat you with the run, and that is their bread and butter. That is what they like to do, but we know that this is a team that can throw the ball as well, and thusly, look, this is a third down offense that is one of the best in the nation at 49.7%. Sure, they can have turnover problems at times. They have 11 fumbles, but I think that's going to come with the amount of times that you run the football here. This is a team that has run 642 run plays and 279 pass plays. If that doesn't tell you this is a run-first team, I don't know what does. But because of that, the sack number, sure, maybe is a little bit deflated, but Liberty, really good offensive line. They don't allow much pressure back to their opposing quarterback. They don't allow much pressure back to their quarterback or their backfield either. However, they are a team that can provide some pressure to the opposing quarterback. There was the segue I used. Terminology right. 25 sacks on the year. And with playing in the conference championship game, you play 13 games. That's just under 2 sacks per game. But that defensive front can do a whole lot more than just rush the quarterback. They can defend the run there as well, which is going to be vital when you play a team like the Oregon Ducks. All this defense, though, is led by Tyron Dupree. 115 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3 pass defended, 2 picks this season. And this is the Liberty team that loves to thrive on those picks. They, I believe, lead FBS with the most interceptions this season. They have 21 interceptions on the year. And while the pass, while the pass defense is very susceptible to giving up those big plays, they definitely take advantage of your mistakes, and they are ball hawking. They go get that ball, 58 pass defended, 21 picks. Really, really good secondary, pretty good third down defense there as well. But this is an Oregon offense unlike anything Liberty has seen this year. I mean, you can make the case why it's the best offense in the country. Now, it will be without some weapons. Bucky Irving, 1,000-yard rusher with 10 rushing touchdowns, also has almost 400 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns there as well. He has opted out to prepare himself for the NFL. And then you also, one of the 2 wide receivers here has opted out as well. All right, sorry, I had to quickly remember which guy it was that ended up opting out here of this game. It was Troy Franklin that has opted out here of this game. I have not seen anything as to whether or not Tez Johnson is opting out here, but Tez Johnson, as of right now, I believe is someone that will be playing in the bowl game. He has 1,010 yards, 9 touchdowns, and just so you can get an idea of what they're missing out with Troy Franklin, 81 catches, 1,383 yards, and 14 touchdowns as well. However, with all of the opt-outs here, Bo Nix is still playing. He has 4,145 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 3 picks so far this year. You could have made the case on why he was the best quarterback in the nation this year. I believe finished 3rd in Heisman voting. Bo Nix, ladies and gentlemen, is a phenomenal player, has really proven himself from all the doubters that gave him crap when he was with the Auburn Tigers. He is a baller, a really, really good player, and has a lot of weapons around him to work with. And even if even if there were a lot more weapons that opted out, I mean, Bo Nix himself, when he went out and tweeted, I believe he posted on his Instagram, 1 more game, you knew that it was going to be a special one here. Defensively, I also should say it's an Oregon team that doesn't turn the football over. Offensive line, probably the best in the country at being able to limit the pressure. Only 5 sacks allowed this year. That's just an insane number. Oh, and they're also one of the best third down offenses in the country as well. But let's go ahead and flip on over to the Oregon defensive side here. Not a whole lot of notable opt-outs that I could see. However, there is one that I'd like to point your attention to, and that's Kyrie Jackson. 7 passes defended, 3 interceptions, 34 tackles, 2 sacks. He will not be playing here in the bowl game. He has opted out. However, this is an Oregon defense that for the most part is going to be pretty cohesive, and it's a really good rush defense that can generate pressure back to opposing quarterbacks. At times can be a really good third down defense, although there are some games that you could point to and say, yeah, they were not that great there on third down, and both times they played Washington. They were able to slow down the Huskies enough on third down to be able to give them a chance, but in both times, again, ended up coming up short. Now, while the secondary can be vulnerable here at times, that is not Liberty's bread and butter. Liberty, yes, is going to try to look to pass the ball, but this Liberty rush offense versus this Oregon rush defense, that's the matchup to watch out for here in this game. Guys, all of this leads me into my what to watch for, kind of like your keys to the game. It's just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you're paying attention here to this one. So let's go ahead and start out with the keys here for the Liberty Flames. Again, you've heard me talk about it all video long, but the run game is going to be imperative here. And against one of the better rush defenses in the country, it's going to need a ton of big plays. And I mean a ton. Look, we know that there are two very notable players that end up rushing the football here for Liberty. That is Quentin Cooley. That is Caden Salter. And if you've never watched a Liberty game so far, if you haven't watched a Liberty game at all this season, I implore you to watch this one, because even with how good the rush defense is with Oregon, I do believe that it's going to struggle. I think this is a Liberty team that is very capable of ripping off some big runs here, and it's what generates their offense. We've seen it in bowl season before. Take a look back at the James Madison Air Force game. James Madison coming in, the best rush defense in the entire country, and Air Force was able to do pretty much whatever they wanted on the ground. The rush offense, when it works and when it is in system, is really, really tough to stop. Oregon will have a tough challenge there, but Liberty has got to be able to make up for the lack of explosiveness they have through the air, which they still do have. They need to be able to make plays through the air, but the run game needs a lot of big plays first and foremost. And defensively, I mean, hey, this is the best offense that Liberty has faced by far. The thing that you are not going to be able to do is stop it. Bo Nix is too good of a playmaker, and even with all the opt-outs, Oregon still simply has too many weapons, but you need to limit the big plays. You cannot let anything over your head, because the more points the Ducks get on the board. Just with the way that Liberty plays, they control the clock. The less time you're naturally going to have to be able to match that, as Oregon can strike really quickly. Limit the Ducks' explosive tendencies. That's what you got to do defensively. And look, for Liberty, I know there are a ton of people saying this is a, oh, so nice that you can make it game. It's one thing to be able to get to this stage. It's another to prove you belong on it. There have been teams that have done that in the past. Memphis has done it. Boise State has done it. It's time for Liberty to show out here and prove that they can't just make it to the stage, but they belong on this stage too. Let's take a look at the Oregon Ducks here, as Bo Nix virtually has all of his weapons. Now, again, I know you're going to be without Bucky Irving, and I know you're going to be without Troy Franklin. That's your leading rusher and leading receiver here. But beyond that, there aren't really a ton of notable opt-outs here. There's still going to be a lot of good wide receivers that are going to play here for the Oregon Ducks. Jordan James, Noah Whittington, I believe, will still be available. Again, who knows if Whittington is healthy or not, but Jordan James at least will be available for this game here for the Oregon Ducks. And Bo Nix himself is just such a great playmaker. It really doesn't matter who's out there. Bo Nix in this offense are going to make plays, and they are going to score their points. But again, this is the point that I've emphasized already. The rush defense faces its stiffest challenge yet. Again, we have seen it before with Air Force and James Madison, and I'll say it again. The rush offense, it worked against a really good rush defense, and it's going to work here. Now, I don't think it's going to work to perfection, and I'd be very shocked if Liberty gets its average. I'd be very shocked if Liberty gets the 300 yards on the ground here. Oregon's rush game, Oregon's guys up front are just really that good, but it's going to struggle, and Oregon is going to give up the big run here and there. It's just because of the style that Liberty plays, but Oregon simply has too much offensive firepower. With Bo Nix here, I think the playmaking ability of Bo Nix just runs rampant. I think he is really, really good. My apologies, I did have to fix Oregon's record there. They were not 9-1 in conference play. They were, in fact, 8-2. But when you take a look at this Oregon team, just with Bo Nix and with all the playmaking abilities that this Oregon offense still has, I don't think Liberty is going to be able to keep up. And I think Liberty being able to control the clock, I actually think it's going to hurt them here in this game. I don't think they're going to be able to have enough time or be able to get down the field quick enough to score if Oregon is up by as much as I'm predicting them to win by here. So in a fireworks display, I think Oregon wins this one 42-23 from Glendale in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Later on tonight, we'll be previewing the college football playoff. Ooh, I'm excited. Can't wait to see all you guys there. Goodbye.